think we're chill now. Hi, welcome. This is the pilot episode of my live podcasting show. For this very first episode, I invited Vicarious Femship to join me for a discussion about Roe v. Wade being overturned. As this is a very deep topic, the live stream itself will more than 2.5 hours. It will therefore be a two-part YouTube video. If you enjoyed the podcast, you know what to do with the comments and the subs. Thank you for watching. Hi, Fem. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Camilla. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, Fem. Please introduce yourself first. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Vicarious Femship. I'm a variety streamer on Twitch. I was born and raised in Mexico, but currently live in Europe after moving around a bunch of times. So, yes, lots of stories there. I also belong to the queer community and mental health people thingy with me having BPD. So I'm used to like talking about like very spicy things. You know.
I think we can agree to that, those of us who know you. Yes.
Yes. Not only inappropriate, like also like, you know. I just realized it looks like CNN when they have like the correspondents that have really shitty cameras.
I don't even know if you can you even change your camera quality in Discord? Because I tried, chat. I tried to find a substitute for a better quality and I could not.
Yeah, I couldn't either. I tried a lot of things, but it's potato quality. Yeah, I'm very sorry.
Like I think the next level is I would be able to do Zoom, but if I want to do calls more than 40 minutes, I have to pay annually 130 euro. And I was like, you know, if podcasting makes sense, I don't mind at all, but it has to make sense before I do this commitment, you know. So maybe we will make it better later on. We will make it better, but for now we have potato.
It's me, potato.
Goody. Did you elaborate on like your stream? Because you are a co-streamer.
Yes. Well, I am a variety streamer. I am currently playing Mass Effect, but I'm taking a mental health break and also like regular health break because my body is trash.
Yeah, because if you want to share, you're more than welcome to do so. Because you have some chronic issues, or not necessarily chronic, but you have some health issues that are being sorted out at the moment, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And Wolf loves your hair.
This illness is chronic. This ass is iconic. Sorry.
It's just like those one. What do we say when we're depressed? Add to cart. No. It's the same thing. Okay, so I had all kind of shit prepared. I have all this amazing stuff. I have a lot of TikToks for us to look at, but as I mentioned, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to have time to actually elaborate on what Roe v. Wade actually was, due to my lovely community being super chatty as fuck. So I think we should elaborate a bit on that. Would you like to start? Just give elaboration. What is the whole Roe v. Wade in, you know, one sentence, two sentences?
Basically, the ability to choose, like, if you're gonna have an abortion for yourself, and it cannot be, it's like on a federal level, not on a state level. So even if a state prohibits it, it's still legal.
Yeah, so in America, the Supreme Court about, what is it, 2 weeks ago by now? 2 weeks ago? They decided on a federal level to make it up to the states if they want to make abortion illegal. Whereas the second they allowed that, I think it was 5 states made it illegal immediately, and then 7 to 12 states were in the making a few days after. And I'm even scared to look at now how many have already made this illegal. And the entire podcast today is we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the precautions, the things that are already happening due to this, what else this affects, because this decision they made does not only affect people and women who got a uterus, this affects cis people. It's a racial issue. It's an LGBTQIA plus issue. I'm trying to find a word for that we can say that's not against TOS, you know, loving kids, not a bit too much. You know, the whole priests doing stuff to children they shouldn't. That word.
Oh yes.
I'm trying to find a substitute, but I can't really.
For all like ages. Let's put it like that.
Let's do that until we find something better. You know.
Yeah.
So I have found a lot of TikToks, both of basically all the racial issue, the LGBTQIA plus issue, those who are actually saying, hey, you cis hetero man who thinks you're not going to be touched by this, guess what, you are. All categories I found things, so we're just gonna have a conversation, air our opinion, because I know both you and I are very, very passionate about this.
Yes.
We are ready to those who do not agree. Where should we start? Oh my god, I have too much.
Where should we start?
Yeah, there's so like I have so much. I prepared so many side topics. It's even difficult to begin because I think a lot of us can agree, because I'm pretty sure everyone in fucking chat right now is probably on the same page as us. They are pro-choice. They do not believe in the aspect of a uterus haver's rights being stripped off them. They do not agree, because this is what this is. This is what it is. I'm so fuming. I did get a little bit of my stones off my chest at Goshi's stream, where he allowed me to just go on a full rampage for 30 minutes, where I just fucking annihilated anyone who said something different. Yeah, and Goshi's already saying, you heard about the 10-year-old girl who got denied, right? I actually have a TikTok regarding this where they have some factual papers showing this. We're gonna converse once in a while. I'm gonna respond to chat. Fem is also aware of she can respond to anything in chat whenever she feels like, right? You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's very easy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so are you aware of how many states it's actually illegal in by now?
I am actually not aware. I know that like a bunch of them, a shit ton of them. I think the majority of states immediately got trigger laws in place, like right after they announced that it was overturned. I am actually not aware of like how many actually ended up criminalizing abortion.
Yeah. I think a lot of us can just let's start with the basics then. We believe in the right to choose of your own body. We do not believe in men saying your body, my choice is allowed. And I have found some. I actually do want to show you this. I think you can already see on the screen share, can't you? The TikTok I have up. Yes. I have also prepared it because I have both some comedic twists, because people at the beginning, people were very serious. No one was making jokes about this and making jokes about how absolutely irrational this is. But since it's been a few weeks now, people are starting to make jokes about it in a way that's like, can't you see that this is dumb? Can you see how grotesque these rulings are? And Sets is writing something around 20 states he believes has already, and Rock is like 13 states is like, yeah, this is not allowed. But on a good note though, some states are very against this, so they will still remain pro-choice, but many of those states who are pro-life, as they call it,
I'd say anti-choice.
Yeah, let's call it. Yeah, no, exactly. Anti-choice. They are working on in these states to actually illegalize it and give jail time if you go to another country to get the another state to get this abortion and then return, because then you are, working against what they're trying to do. So there will be precaution, or like fucking what's the word? Penalty, is that the word? Would that be the word? That would be a penalty for doing this. Yeah. If you're a 14-year-old girl unfortunately have been I'm really trying to find words that are TOS friendly. Let's just call it what it is, raped, who have been raped.
Sexually assaulted.
Let's do that.
A broad term.
Yes, let's do sexually, who've been sexually assaulted. If she goes to a state where this is legal and then she returns back home to the state she came from, she will get fined. Yeah. I guess the term would be juvenile in her case, or if it was an adult woman, it would be jail time. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And they can also, it has been done before, and that's why so many women are starting to delete their period trackers.
Yes.
And like doing everything to disable their location services, because it actually has happened where the state or whoever prosecuted them requested that data, and that's when they saw, oh, she went here and there and blah blah blah, or like they looked at her period cycle and deducted that she was pregnant and got an abortion through it. which is just insane.
It has actually been a very big thing. Even if I'm not, again, I'm from Denmark. You live in Europe as well. We are not part of America, but this is still something that appears on our TikToks because we are women, so we understand how fucking big of an issue this is, and we understand that this is not just happening here. It is happening multiple places in the world, unfortunately, but this happening in America right now has made a chain reaction. Just look at the UK. They are already starting in the UK to do the same thing. But the whole period tracker thing is, those of you who don't know, if you have an app for free, you are the product. So those who have the app, like a period tracker, they sell your data to where the fuck needs it. And this could be the police or the state in this case, which is why they out you. If they need the information, they will contact and be like, hey, we need this information. She will not give it to us. That's why this is an issue. But I unfortunately forgot to write down, but there is actually a women-owned period tracker who do not do this, which is their big thing. They do not store any data, and they have, I don't know how many VPNs to protect them as such. And I think I'm gonna write down that I'll figure this out for those who might need it. I'll just go write that down real quick. Period.
But it's also not only free apps. Anything you do on your phone is being tracked, and like, data brokers can sell it to anyone that wants it. Like, women have been killed through that by their abusive ex-boyfriends because they paid for the data and tracked them down. So yep.
I'm just gonna do department regularly monitor this data. It's disgusting and gross. Absolutely rock. Glad you never had one. Good idea, Bex. Because I've actually seen a lot of people who are starting to teach women and those who have a uterus how to track it by themselves. But it's one thing, but it's more complex than people realize, because there's the whole thing about people learning now having fucking cramps is actually not supposed to happen. It's a hormonal imbalance, so people are trying to teach how to balance your hormones so you don't have these cramps. Then you can actually foresee and prepare exactly when the cycles happen. Big rocket science. It basically is very difficult, but people are starting to share that more, which I think is great. I'm one of those who have an IUD, so I don't have to worry about this at all. But I still think it's something I should share whenever I find it, and I of course forgot to save them. Shit.
And like, for example, I have endometriosis, which is an illness that can only be treated by birth control. So, and there's a shit ton of women out there and people with uteri that have that. And because it's not going to stop at abortion, that's just the first domino stone. They're going to go for same-sex marriages, privacy in the bedroom, and of course contraception. So a lot of people are going to the consensus of Roe versus Wade being overturned is that a lot of people are gonna die.
Yes. Regarding the whole medical thing, I actually right here, this woman you see on the screen right now, I will share her in a second. Boop. It should be oh, it's not there. Shit. Just need to add it real quick. That's why. This woman you guys see on screen right now, she is one of those who unfortunately is a victim of not being able to have her prescription birth control. She is a victim of this, which legitimately could actually kill her. This could kill her because she suffers from blood clots in the brain that only one certain type of birth control can actually battle. She can only use one. She cannot use any of the others. But by legalizing these birth controls, there is a higher chance of her actually dying. Already there. This is not only about abortion, this is medical. People need birth control for more than sex-related reasons. There are also some, like in my case, I got a birth control when I was already 12 years old, simply because I got so sick from having a period that I would be in like a fetus position in 2 weeks because I couldn't stand and I couldn't walk out of my bed. And we, of course, when you're young, we have to test it out. We did it for half a year. We talked to doctors and they were like, Camila, you need this because you can't even function as a normal human being if we cannot get this under control. And that's the thing in my family. So having birth control is, as Fem also says, is not only about sex and protecting yourself, it's about fucking health. Even though there are so many side effects, they still help some things. They still help some things. They really, really fucking do. I'm not gonna play this video by her because it got copyrighted music and she don't have any subtitles on, but I just want to show this. This is real. This is pain. This fucking happened. Hi, Shell. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the lurk. But yeah, I have. Oh shit! I got so much. Speaking of birth control, did you actually know they're working on? They worked on a birth control for men maybe a year ago, and they had to stop it.
Because it had the same side effects as our birth control.
But they kept working on it. And now they're almost done developing a birth control pill for men that don't have any side effects. Where's our option for this shit?
What the fuck?
Just because they are a man. Like, I even tweeted about this. If a man could get pregnant, there would be abortion clinics on every fucking corner.
Everywhere. 24/7. Like, you'll get your abortion and a truck wash for free or some shit like that. Yeah,
you could just go in and be like, slip, swoop, out again. It would be 15 minutes. It would be the same as going through fucking McDonald's drive-thru. It would be the same procedure. And they would, as they have done now, make sure there was no side effects of this stupid pill. I've even seen young girls actually make entire dresses out of one sheet of side effects of the birth control pill. It's absolutely insane.
Yep. And it's what is so kind of, I question this a lot if you're a cis man, right? Because a lot of birth control falls towards us. We have IUDs, we have the pill, we have so many different ways that we can protect ourselves from getting pregnant. If I was a man, I would push to be able to have so many different choices too, because like it's your life. And especially as a man, if you get a woman pregnant and she doesn't want to have an abortion, you have no say in it because it's not your body. You're not the one going through pregnancy. So I wonder why not more men are pushing for different types of birth control.
It's actually weird because what I have two things I want to say. First off, guys, this is not about man hating. It's very important that you understand we will be very harsh on men probably during this podcast, but it's not about man hating. It's about those who do not understand the rationality of simple stuff as men taking fucking birth control or wear the condom or get the vasectomy, store your semen just in case it's not reversible in your case, all that stuff. Because I know people, I have friends who are so fucking on the side of women on this. They are golden Gucci golden eggs. I love them. So it's very important. Not about man hating. Very, very much. Now that's out of the way. I completely forgot the other part I was going to say. Can you please rephrase? What were you saying? ADHD brain, what were you saying?
I was saying how I don't understand how cis men don't push for more options for birth control.
That was the one. Yeah, guys. It's there was an instance I actually saw it was an article I read or a blog post of a young woman that's a lie. It was one of those am I the asshole ones where a young man, they were him and his girlfriend, they were in the start 20s, and since this whole Roe v. Wade shit started to happen, she was scared, so she was on the pill, they were using condoms, but she was like, love, we are being protected, but I don't feel safe. I do not feel safe having sex with you again until you get a vasectomy. I do not feel safe because I cannot get this undone if the case we do not want happens. And this young man was like, you know what? I understand her. She wants to feel safe, and this is about her body. It's like he was really understanding, and then just the twist is, but getting the vasectomy, I feel violated, and what will my friends think? What will my family think? And then we're like, but you don't see the irony right now?
Yeah.
You don't see it?
Also, like, what the? Is there a stigma on vasectomies? Is there an
I-
actual social stigma on
I
that?
think many those who got toxic masculinity, they're like, oh, my swimmers are not working, and I think honestly it's about the honor they don't have. I really do
That
think
is
it's a lot of
fucking
toxic
weird.
masculinity.
Oh yeah, 100%, and it's yeah. I hope they get more options in contraceptives and
I do
actually
believe,
use them.
yeah, I do believe the male birth pill is actually going to be aired this year in America. This year already.
Nice.
Yes.
I also saw, like, I don't know how far they are in developing it, but it was like this cup kind of, and you basically put the scrotum in there, and you do that like regularly, and it basically like kills off your sperm that is like inside.
I have something very fun I can add to that. In Germany, I think it was already last summer, I saw a woman who invented I will call it a time-framed birth control for men. It is basically a tiny little bathtub. Men before sex, maybe a day
exactly,
before,
that's the one.
they put the bathtub, well, their balls goes in this little bubble bath. They turn it on, it vibrates, so the swimmers basically go into a coma for 2 days, and then they can have all the sex they want and they don't worry about anything. So they will still be like shoot, but they're in coma, so they don't work. You know, they don't work, and that is fantastic. I do understand. I remember, like, it's kind of weird having a bathtub on my balls, but it's like, yeah. But suck it. It hurts no one.
The on and off switch.
Yeah.
The thing is, and I got so upset by it. But every time there's like this new innovation, this new contraceptive for men. Because right now, what do we have? We have condoms and we have vasectomy.
Yes.
That's it. We are not gonna count the pull-out method, because
Nope, that don't work.
That does not work.
Pre-fun still counts as sperm, so not having climax, you can still be pregnant, get impregnated. Absolutely can.
Yes, and like every time something new comes out, like the pill for men or that top thingy or the on and off switch, every fucking time you have men being like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that because of this and this and this, and like these risks and blah blah blah. And then meanwhile, we're here taking medicine that causes blood clots in us. My mom had to stop taking the birth control pill because she got blood clots in her leg. So my stepdad had to get a vasectomy. And also, like, the IUD, getting that inserted, and we don't even get any pain management. You don't get any pain management, and they're like, oh, it's gonna just hurt a little bit. Just a little bit. But they literally, the procedure is horrible. Like,
I will elaborate on how the procedure is.
Shit,
that specific procedure I will elaborate on in a second. I think we have a few questions in chat. I just want to make sure, because Goshi asked, but isn't there one brand in the US where they are not on birth control but can still be used as one on the US? Can't ban it? I honestly do not know. That's a good question. If anyone else in chat or you know, fam, let me know. I have no idea. No, absolutely idea. Have you had a look which sex does more of the researches into safe sex measurement? Most of them are probably men. Absolutely no. No, I have not. Not that far. Not that far. If you guys find some fun, not fun, but if you guys find some statistics like about topics we talk about now, let us know. Let us know.
Can I say something to that?
Go.
Because this is the thing. This is why abortion, it concludes so much, but it's a lot of sexism too. Of course, most researchers are gonna be men because there's still discrimination in those types of fields. Like,
that's
just
a whole
because they're
different
more
topic,
men,
but very, very
relatable.
I know, very relatable.
It's not a gotcha point, you know? Like, oh, of course, more men. Like, yeah, because more of them. There's so many reasons why not a lot of women are in those fields. We're not gonna get into them because it's a whole other thing.
Yes.
But
yeah. But I hear you. Said would very much like a bubble bath for the nuts.
Bubble bath. Go nuts, I would say.
Yeah. And Shell, okay, I need to jump in again. We do know sperm can live in a woman for up to 5 days. Will they wake up in the woman after 5 days? I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. But I do
actually had the same thought.
yeah, me too. But and then again, this is just something I saw last year. I just suddenly reminded of now. I've done no research for it for today. We can totally do that. And if anyone would like to go research real quick, you're more than welcome to do so. Is a woman in Germany. She made a bulb out for the nuts. Go fucking crazy, find it. But I'm pretty sure she took into measurements of this. So if she made this possible, she made sure that they will stay asleep the days they still are effective. But of course, I don't know. I might be wrong. Okay, let's talk real quick how the IUD works and how it's being inserted.
Do you have the TikTok for that? The one
I do, but I'm unsure if I'm allowed to show it.
I mean, it's on a dummy.
Let me find you can see it, yeah, because you can see it, because I have it in here somewhere. I have not saved it. I know
exactly which one you mean, because I also saw that one.
This one?
Oh no, I have another one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got another one. If you have it, you can send it to me. I'm just gonna be like,
yeah, mine is just shows the cervix.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that one somewhere as well. But basically, my dudes and ladies, it is the cervix. They take a fucking giant pair of sharp pinchers that can penetrate your fucking arm, and then they use it to grab it through the skin, through the meat, just as if you took a nail and put it through your arm. And they're like, oh, you're just gonna feel a little pinch, and then they force this little thing in, and it's
a little uncomfortable. It's what it's gonna
I have never felt more pain in my. You want to hear something ridiculous? I got my second IUD this last summer. I think I've had it in for a year now, about a year now. I took my ex-partner with me, a cis straight man. Okay, I took him with me because I'm like, I've had this done before. It is painful. I need you there. Okay, I need you because I cannot walk afterwards. I need your help.
Yeah.
He was in there holding my hand while the doctor did the procedure on me, and I was not screaming, but I was crying. It hurt like shit. Then I got up. I got this fucking arm length of a pad the doctors give you that's just as thick as a fucking sponge, and I put it in. It was a male doctor, a fucking asshole. But I looked at my ex, and he got the fucking audacity to get nauseous and almost pass out. Because he was like, oh, I was so uncomfortable. Bitch, you were uncomfortable?
A friend of mine, because I thought about it, but I have to take birth control anyway for my endo and PCOS, so
yeah,
I never got into it. But a friend of mine actually got hers put in, and you receive no pain medication.
Nothing.
This is like
nothing.
You're completely sober. They tell you that it's gonna be a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She passed out.
Yeah, and you know what? The first time I had it done, it was a good experience. Like, it was painful, but it was done by a woman, and she I don't remember the term, but she was one of those that help delivering babies. What are they called in English?
Yeah. Fuck.
Right? But she's the nurse who's designated to help you deliver a baby, but she also helped me with my hormonal issues and helped me with the IUD. And she's like, Camille, this is gonna hurt. I'll do my very best to do it as a little painful as I can, but you will feel this. And she was so maybe a midwife, that would be the name, yeah. But and I was on the table, she's like, Camille, cough, cough, cough. I was like, and then I started crying. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not at all cool. And she's like, oh, you're doing great, Camille. I was like coughing, and she was so kind, and she made it as good as an experience as she possibly could, because she understood this is bad. This is not a good thing, but it hurts, and it helps. And then I was at the male doctor who didn't give a flying fuck. It was, yeah, she was sweet, he was an asshole. But I have found, dear viewers,
I'm not surprised.
Do you want to, if there are any comments we need to respond to real quick before we show you guys how the IUD is being inserted?
Only that Rock is a lovely human being.
Oh yeah, Rock is always a lovely human being.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Just reading real quick. Yes. Okay, trigger. I will put a trigger warning because some might be faint of heart for this procedure. Okay. This right here is your cervix. This is a pair of pinchers inside you. Okay. Yeah, that is how it's done. They swoop, and then they grab. This is literally pinches fucking in your flesh inside you. Let's get that shit away.
Then they have like this long ass kind of like what's it called?
It-
Like
it-
grabby things where it has
It's
the
basically a
IUD
T
on
shape.
it.
Yeah, it's a long stick kind of thing with the IUD at the end that's formed like a T in many cases, or like a Y with copper on it, and then it like shoots it in. They insert it into you and shoots it
They
into place.
insert it in, and then they pull the little, like, they have two strings, and they
Yes.
pull it, and it opens up into a T shape.
Yes. And then they cut the string so it fits, and then there you go.
And all of that is without pain meds. And said, that is a good question. We don't get pain meds for a lot of procedures that should require pain meds because female pain is not taken seriously. Female pain in general is not taken seriously. And then if you are a Black woman or like even a Black person, for the longest times, doctors worked under the belief that Black people couldn't feel pain.
Oh yeah, that's so horrible. That is so horrible. So many hormonal tests in general and such were performed on Black women, as you say. They didn't believe they felt pain, so who cares? This one? No. I was just trying to see if I can find a picture, because I saw yesterday, or before we planned this podcast, so the TikTok is gone. But they actually made a contraception that works better than the IUD that we just saw, and there's no pain in inserting it. It's basically a little thread with all the coppers on it. So you just push it in like a tampon, and the doctor of course does it so it's up high enough. But it's just a little push, and then you have a little spiral of coppers in your cervix, and there's no need for pinches, there's no need for pain. Might feel a bit muddy, you know, from the hormones, but no pain from the at all. Unfortunately, I didn't find it. It was very new. It was very, very new. I didn't get to save it.
I still think it will be painful just because it goes through your cervix.
that might be true, but they made it less painful because you don't need the fucking pinchers penetrating you. You don't need those. That's a mwah, at least. Forceps.
And Rockstar, you are completely right. Like if you look into the history not only of medicine but also like gynecological like history, a lot of things were done on Black women. Without any pain meds, without anything, and there is still so much racism where 1/3 of abortions are being performed on Black women, and they are also the ones that die the most. I think like Black women are 3 times more likely to die from like medical complications during childbirth than all the other women. Like it's the racism that is still engraved in society and also in the medical field. I know that a lot of people have like this halo effect around doctors, and they're like, oh, they're trying their best and they're working with the information that they have, but it's not true. A lot of it is still so in like
I actually have something to add. There is a documentary on Netflix. I've not seen it myself, but I've read documents about this. There was a doctor who was a gynecologist. He was a gynecologist. He impregnated, I think it was 100 or 200 women while doing, you know, doing his whatever the fuck he does down there to make sure they're healthy and don't have cervical cancer or whatever. He would then insert his sperm in these ladies to get them pregnant. It was not illegal.
Yeah.
It was not illegal. There was no problem. What he did was not illegal.
Yeah.
Tough luck.
Yeah.
It's not on Netflix. Maybe it was on American Netflix as well, because I know it is on some kind of Netflix streaming service. It might be in America only then, but it is there. It is there. Devil's advocate here tried to look up vasectomy. What are you looking? What are you looking for, Michael? When you put it like that.
Also,
keep going. It's okay.
Does the devil need an advocate? I hate devil's advocacy. Have you looked into what it takes to get your what's it called? Have you looked the procedure into what when women get sterilized? It's much more invasive. It takes way longer to heal. Vasectomy is nothing in comparison to what we go through.
Let's put it very, very, very simple. Vasectomies, we know many are scared of them, of men who consider them, because they're like, but what if it's not reversible? Because it's not. It is reversible, and I think it's like 85 or 80% of the case it is reversible, and then there is a percentage where it is not. If you are scared that you want a family and that your semen will die, you as a man can nut in a cup and fill an entire freezer with semen like a sperm bank and have yourself covered. Get the vasectomy if you want to support your partner, and you want to be want to be sure you're not going to be a father without it being intended to. Have fun, get that shit going. Not in a cup. Save it in a freezer. You're Gucci. There is no argument against a vasectomy unless there's like a health condition. Of course, then we can argue that's a different topic. But as a normal vasectomy, working as they do without any health issues, you cannot argue against it. In my opinion, you cannot.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Michael, but the pain and violent way it's done, it will never, ever be able to be compared to what women are being put through. Both at the gynecologist, the IUDs, the pregnancy itself, the postpartum stress, the depression, the birth, the being fucking scissored up because you can't birth the child, so they have to cut you to your anus open with a scissor in order for it to... No, I'm sorry, you cannot compare it to you getting a thread stuck in your pee-pee or in your ball sack or whatever it is and get it cut. You cannot compare it.
You cannot even compare it to like women getting sterilized versus men getting sterilized, because for men, it's most of the time, of course, there are outliers where you cannot reverse it, but the majority of time you can reverse it. For women, it's not possible.
No.
Second, you have to be put under anesthesia to get your tubes tied, because it's a very invasive procedure in comparison to men, where they only make a little cut and they do their thingy and then that's it, right? They don't even, they get local anesthesia, they get local pain management, and that's it. And women have to be put under, and
you can already compare it. We don't get anesthesia just as similar as the IUDs you do for the vasectomy. Our hurts such shit. We pass out. I'm sorry, I laughed before because Fibers is like...
I saw it with the coffee.
Just don't use the same coffee mug next morning.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
And 3 days in high painkillers. Same goes for women. I had to endure 6 months of pain after I had the IUD, where I had pure cramps every single day for 6 months. I had to take painkillers, iprene, muscle relaxation medication every single day. I'm sorry, I know, and it's okay to say that vasectomies hurt. If that's the case, that's okay. Yeah. But we're not invalidating your feeling of that shit might actually hurt. You can just not compare it to this. You can't. You cannot compare it. You're allowed, but we're gonna say you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh, I saw that. I actually read about that, Shell.
I'm gonna read it out loud real quick. I'm just gonna read it out real quick so people know it. Yes. What about the women getting a gynecology examination by a medicine students without consent, if they by any means were under full anesthesia for something that had nothing to do with their genitalia? There you go, fam. Go nuts.
Thank you. Yes, I actually read about it, and there is a book that I will 100% recommend to anyone that wants to learn more about medicine and how racist it is and how inhumane it is. There is a book called Medical Earthed by Harriet Washington, where she talks about that.
Could you say that
where
again?
They had a woman, medical. I can also type it in chat.
Yeah, please do that, because I was just gonna find a link to it on Google or something. Yes. To do that, please. And Fibers, a vasectomy is less painful than removing a tooth.
Yeah.
But then I'm reminded, because there is a difference between the pain tolerance of men and women. Just look at all the men trying,
getting tattoos
or period. They're trying what a period feels like with these muscle activators on their belly, and they're dying, and women are just sitting there like, what? I've even, when you say tattoos, I've even seen tattoo artists being like, they're trying to, you cannot tell me that tattoos don't hurt, and maybe being like super aggressive, and then they end it with, unless you are a woman who have given birth to a child, because nothing can be compared to what you do then. Because every woman who have given birth to a child, if they're getting tattooed, they will 9 out of 10 times just sit there and say nothing. It's just
Not even if you've had a child. I have a couple tattoos, as everyone can see.
I've shared a long ass
one
link
on my
in chat. There go for the book. There go.
And the one on my leg lasted 8 hours continuously, and the one on my neck 12. And I talked to a lot of other tattoo artists, and all of them told me that men's pain tolerance is much, much lower than women's, and that they usually like tap out way before that. There is actually like a biological background to it, that men do have a lower pain tolerance, but I also feel like we build that up through all the pain that we have to go through, just you know, hitting puberty and period and stuff.
It's like, I'm not gonna take away that let me rephrase it. We're just saying that biologically women have a higher pain tolerance because there's so much we have to go through with medication and period cramps and all this, so we just develop a higher pain tolerance than men in general. Like, I see what you're saying, Michael, that women also tried having the kicked in the nuts. I'm not taking that away from you. I believe that hurts. I believe you, don't worry, I do. But you can never in a million years tell me that getting a kick in the nut is gonna be worse than birthing a child. Of course, some people have easier pregnancies and births than others. There's sides of everything, you know, but you cannot convince me that. That's, again, look at them, many men who tried just half an hour of a simulated birth, where women have to go through this birth for 32 hours, sometimes 48 hours, sometimes only 6 hours, but still days.
They already have that with the period simulators.
Yeah, and exactly.
That usually is nothing compared to birth, I imagine. I luckily never had the pleasure of giving birth, and I hope it stays that way.
Just going through real quick all the TikToks, because I have a lot of TikToks ready on the go that touches all kind of stuff, and this one is not one of them. What we're talking about one now is not one of them, but I have all kinds of stuff from day one of post Roe v. Wade. I even have found, again, the 10-year-old case that Goshi talked about. I have the article of a man who says it right here, explains it. Cis men being like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this? Why you do this? All kind of stuff. There's even this woman, or Faye Femme. They non-binary. Is that the one for them? Faye Femme, I think. This non-binary person who was straight up threatened in a parking lot, where random dude just went up to them and said, I cannot wait until I'm allowed to hunt you. As in, cannot wait until I'm allowed to unalive you, just doing it and don't have any precautions from it. That's where this is going. That is where this is going.
That is where we have already been. There have been doctors that performed abortions that have been murdered. There have been mass shootings at Planned Parenthood. There we go. There have been mass shootings where people have died because some fucking cishet white dude was like, I have my gun, I'm gonna take this into my own hands. It has happened. This is not a it's gonna happen. Like, it has happened. People have died because they were doctors that performed abortions, because they went there. And like, the fucked up thing is that they don't only perform abortions, they perform so many more health. They provide so much more like health services than just abortions. Abortion is just a tiny percentage of services that they actually perform, right? And for a lot of people, given how there is no universal health care in the US, that's the only place they can go to get affordable contraception and health care. Yeah.
What you just mentioned, you had something, what you said before, because I had something for it, but again, my ADHD made me forget it. What was you start off by saying? No, wait, I remember it. this entire thing has happened before. I started interview by a woman who said, my mom, who is still alive, she was part of the protests 50 years ago when Roe v. Wade was, you know, a thing, when it started, when it was birthed, that women had rights over their own fucking body. And she told that her mom was crying that she had to see the last 50 years just, we just took a step back in fucking human history. We just stood back to we literally just went back to medieval ages. Now that's what happened. I just spit everywhere.
Yes. It's okay.
I'm very, when I get excited, it's so weird. That's actually a fun fact. If you have ADHD and you're very or very passionate about something, you have way more saliva in your mouth, which is why I often spit on not on purpose on stream, because I'm excited and that happens. Fun fact, I know. Woo! But yeah, this is a step back in history. And I actually have a picture of Alexa showed when we were talking about the racial part. This woman right here is one of the smartest women I've ever heard.
The main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country. He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you almost exactly what he says. He says there are 3 things we can do to solve this. Number 1, we could pay women to have babies, as they have
This is a 2-minute video, guys. Hang in there.
For years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed into this country every year. Then once again, he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those wanting to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Does that sound like racism to you? And if it doesn't, I want to know why it doesn't.
I'm very skeptical, so I got the book she was talking about.
Okay, I'm not gonna listen to what she has to say because I honestly don't know. I only wanted to listen to the gem of this woman that was on the screen before. But she touched the entire thing you and I also talked about yesterday, the racial issue. Yeah. Because this is so much more than abortion. This is racial. And I've seen black women on
control.
Yes.
It's about racial issues. It's about queer people. It's about everything.
It's about everything being tramped down, stomped on that is not cis straight man.
Yep.
Basically. And I have way more. I have more, guys. Don't worry. I got lots for us. Woo! I was scared we were gonna fill out an hour. Babe, we haven't even touched half of the shit I prepared. We got so much to talk about. Woo!
Can I add to the thing that she said?
Of course.
Because it's so important.
Yes.
It actually has a name in the far right, which is called the Great Replacement Theory, where the far right, or the people that subscribe to it, believe that it's like the government's goal, if it's a blue government, of course, the government's goal to like replace white people. And like Gashi said, the US was never white people's land. They took it and they genocided from indigenous people.
On that part, I have more, because I am on that part. Here we fucking go, because you know what's happening? Those of you who don't know, indigenous people of America, you know, the original people who lived in the US, in the America, that were before everything was stolen away from them, you know, they had this thing. I don't remember specifics, but I know it's to spread awareness about indigenous people and those who died and those who have died without their names being revealed and all kinds of stuff. Red hand over the mouth to silence them. It's a symbol for indigenous people in America. It's their thing. Apparently, all these young Gen Zers who want to battle this abortion thingy are trying to take it over and make it their thing, to say, oh, I'm a white little girl, I want to support this cause, which is brilliant, but they do it by stealing this symbol from the indigenous people and just saying, well, it's just a symbol, and this creator specifically, Witchy Twitchy TV, yes, Witchy Twitchy TV, it's like, yeah, but you know, the cancer, the breast cancer ribbon, that's also a symbol, but you wouldn't steal that. You wouldn't steal that because that's breast cancer. You're just stealing this because you are a fucking racist and you just want to take whatever is yours. There's, again, cultural appropriation. There we go. I don't know if she's using a song that's loud or not. I'm just gonna play it. Fuck! I'm not allowed again. Wait, I gotta refresh. But just when you touched about this, because I prepared this, because this is very, very new. I found this yesterday as well. And I got, again, so furious. This has nothing to do with me, but I just cannot handle the fact of people stomping on others' cultures. And fun fact, this video is marked as sensitive content because of the red hand. This is not sensitive content on TikTok, but it is marked as sensitive content. A red handprint over the mouth is a symbol for indigenous women. Missing and murdered indigenous women. That's the symbol. Native American women are unalived at 10 times the national rate. Most perpetrators are non-native men. Most cases go unsolved. This handprint is not your Roe v. Wade symbol. By co-opting, you are further erasing indigenous women. Stop. Yep. And that's what I wanted to show, because I'm even getting chicken skin because I'm like, oh, it angers me so much. It's not okay. It's not okay. I'm just a little Scandinavian with no history, and I get so angry when someone stomps upon others. I just can't handle it. Oh.
And like that's how insidious this whole thing is, and that's why people with privilege, especially white people, or like people that cannot relate to it, don't understand what big of a deal this is, because a lot of people have the argument that they're like, oh, if you cannot get it in your state, you can go to another, right? Not everyone can afford going to another state. Who falls into that group that is like middle class, lower class? A lot of immigrants. A lot of people of color fall into that group where they cannot afford to go to another state to get abortions.
I have something to add, because I do believe a lot of people do not understand. Yes, abortion is now illegalized, but it won't stop. It will just prevent safe abortions. The same amount of abortions will happen now, unsafe, in alleyways, or just as you mentioned before, these gynecologists who are going out of the way to do secret abortions to try and make it safe, but they have to do it illegally and hidden to still keep their license and do this, whatever they want to do on a normal basis, you know? So that's very, very important as well to know. And again, as you mentioned before, of course, this will happen to white women. But the biggest victim in this will still be indigenous and black people. That is who's gonna be the most under the effect of this. Really, 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 really much.
Yeah, it will mostly affect Hispanic people, black people, indigenous people. Minorities, exactly. The thing that that the US hates. And just like, it's so horrifying, because if you look at the reason why pregnant people die in the US, the number one reason that pregnant people die in the US, it's homicide. And that shit is gonna get even higher when women are gonna get killed by their boyfriends and their husbands because they cannot get an abortion.
So they get killed in an attempt to abort the child or make a miscarriage, and then just end up dying because the men who impregnated them does not want the child.
Or just because the man will kill them because they want to kill them.
Yes, and they're like, hey, you are also pregnant and we cannot get rid of that, therefore you have to be unalived.
Exactly. There will be accidental deaths because of an unsafe abortion, and there will be deaths because men are gonna kill their pregnant partners.
Yes, very, very much. Think about it, when people wear headdresses and dressed up at Halloween as Indian, that is a cultural appropriation. Plus, it's further fetishizing indigenous women, which is why MMIB is such a big thing in North America. Yes, that's a whole different topic we also can attack at some point. The whole making a culture to a custom. No, unless it's your own, don't. Like, I'm a Dane, I don't care. I know a stereotype of Denmark is pig, and I don't care if I make a bacon dress and then say, hey, I'm Danish, and people laugh. I don't care. I can do that. And I wouldn't be bothered by anyone else doing it, but that's also because my culture is not very rich on anything. My culture is very bland, okay? So I really have to pee, fam. So how do you feel about we just take a 5-minute break? Okay, just a 5-minute break. So I will go to the intermission screen, guys. I will deafen myself in Discord just to make sure that no one can hear anything, because I haven't got my mixer yet, so I can't split up the audio, unfortunately. So guys, we will take a 5-minute break. We will be back at 7:05 CST. That's in 4-ish minutes. So see you later. Yay.